Hey guys, MCU Collector here with another figure review, and next up is the Hasbro Marvel Legends series Venom Wave 2, the Venompool Build-A-Figure. This is the Venomized Miles Morales. I'm surprised it actually doesn't say Venomized down there on the bottom, but this is the Venomized Miles Morales, and you can see he is severely lacking in accessories. He only comes with the Build-A-Figure part, which I'm assuming took up crazy amount of the budget, but no accessories at all? That was kind of weird. Anyway, side artwork looks really nice of the Venomized Miles Morales. He even has some of that green venom coming off of his tongue, but no tongue coming out on the figure, so that's a little interesting. Here on the back of the package, we have the Venompool Build-A-Figure, all 5 figures to build him, and of course the 6th figure in the wave is the movie Venom, which did not get a Build-A-Figure part, so only 5 figures to build Venompool. We are on Miles Morales. Next up will be Spider-Ghost, or Ghost Spider, excuse me, and then we'll get to the Venompool Build-A-Figure. But for Miles Morales, his bio reads, when the Venom symbiote attaches to Miles Morales, he gains extreme new powers. So pretty awesome looking. I love this Spider-Man Maximum Venom logo there. And this, you guys let me know, it took place actually in the cartoon, but there was also the Absolute Carnage storyline in the comics. I think the symbiote did attach himself to Miles, although I don't think this was the look. I think he had like 6 arms or something. You guys can let me know down in the comments below, but pretty interesting design. There's lots of toys now for that Spider-Man Maximum Venom. I think there's, mini mates, there's Titan Hero series figures, all kinds of stuff going on for that, but we get some Legends figures now. We had the Venomized Captain America figure that's exclusive to Walmart, and then we have this one, and then there is the Ghost Spider, which is Venomized. One thing I really like there is that logo up at the top with the Spider-Man logo with the Venom symbiote overtaking it. I think that looks really cool. So let's get to it and open this thing up. Okay, and there is the Venomized Miles Morales figure out of the package, and he's okay. There's a couple of things that I don't really care for about the figure, but overall he looks alright. First, let's take a look at the Build-A-Figure for Venompool. He comes with this additional interchangeable hand, which I hope that we continue to see with Build-A-Figure, so we're going to throw that over there. Here's one thing that's interesting to note. If you saw my, I think it was the Morbius video, and I talked about the interchangeable hands, the tiny, tiny peg. So I just took the thing out, and the hand came right off of the arm. So with this bracelet piece and trying to pop that hand on there, it's not going to hold very well. So that's definitely going to be a problem with this Build-A-Figure. So that's just definitely one thing to note. Maybe that was on the wrong way or something. Oh yeah, that makes a big difference there. So no, popped right out. Son of a bitch. That's going to be a big problem with the Build-A-Figure, but that'll be a later video. First, let's get to Miles Morales. So let's zoom in on him and see the good things about him, and then definitely talk about the bad. Okay, so here's a close-up look at the Venomized Miles Morales. So it's a decent looking figure, but I have a couple of problems with it in general. Now, for one, the color. It's like an indigo color. It's not black. It's like a extremely dark blue type of color tone, which I would have definitely have preferred black. But the red paint that we get on it is nice, so that's all good. The sculpted symbiote lines that we get are actually throughout the arms and the head and the feet. We do not get any sculpted lines in the torso whatsoever. So this is all just painted on. It's painted nicely, so I can't complain, but it's the same exact torso that we had gotten previously with the Ultimate Spider-Man and the Miles Morales figure that we got, as well as the Into the Spider-Verse 2-pack that we got. It is the same base mold, same legs, but the arms, hands are all different, head is different, and the feet are different. Now, my second complaint is that these symbiote hands look great, but they're huge compared to the figure. Like, it's one thing that, yes, they're going to have enlarged hands, sure. So let's look at like Venomized Captain America. He's got enlarged hands, but they're not overly large. These are just like comically large for this figure. And then same thing for his feet. Like, he's got massive duck clown shoe feet that are just huge, and they're pretty much rubber. They're not even hard plastic, they're rubber. So that's going to make things hard when you want to try and hinge the foot and get him to stand in dynamic poses. So that's the difficult thing. Those are my complaints. A nitpick would be they sculpted on symbiote lines through the arms, but they didn't paint them. Now I kind of get it because of the design. It's basically, you know, taking the design of his suit and then adding in some of that venomized texture, that symbiote texture. But why sculpt it then if you're not going to paint it? But I guess that could just be standard symbiote lines. It just looks a little weird that we get the sculpt and mold of it and then it's painted, but then not painted and then painted again for the shoulder. So that's kind of my complaint there. As far as the paint apps, they're all pretty clean though, and I don't really have too many issues other than looking at that right there. There's a little bit of a red spot kind of missing right there. It's kind of odd. But overall, you know, not a problem. Decent looking figure, but, you know, has some flaws. And it might just be me, but let's zoom out for his articulation. So now that you can kind of see the figure in full force, look at how large those feet are. He's like swimming, paddling with those feet. They're just crazy big. Maybe it's just me. His hands are insanely big too. Articulation, he can look all the way down. He can look all the way up, so that is good. You get some pivot in there, and of course you get the full rotation. You can get the shoulder to go up that high. You get a full rotation there. You have an upper bicep swivel. You have a double jointed elbow, which gives you a crazy amount of bend, as you can see there. Wrist swivel, and they do hinge. His hands are also very rubbery, by the way. We have an ab crunch, so he can crunch forward that much. He can crunch back that much, and the red of the spider just completely stops, and that looks pretty ugly. We have a waist swivel in there. Legs go out that far apart. He can kick forward that high, so that's actually really, really good. He can go back a tiny bit. You have an upper thigh cut in there. You get a double jointed knee like so. We have a calf swivel there. And here's the thing. Foot hinges down. Foot hinges up a little bit, ankle pivot, no peg holes at the bottom of the feet because the feet are extremely thin and again very rubbery, so you want to be careful. Really hold the foot tight to work that hinge because you don't want to break that peg that's in there because this is the foot's so rubbery. It can be a little bit harder to hinge on something like this. One is really difficult to hinge, so be very careful. Hold it very tight there as if you're holding that peg that's in there itself to be able to hinge that foot. So be very careful, but decent articulation for this figure, this baby of a figure, because he's pretty tiny. So naturally, of course, for a size comparison, we have the Venomized Miles Morales next to the actual Miles Morales. So you can see the same base figure. The feet are different, so it gets him to actually stand a little bit shorter because the feet are very thin. The head is a little bit enlarged, so they're close, but not quite. But again, same base mold for the figure. Okay, and so far for our Venomized figures, we have the Venomized Captain America, which is exclusive to Walmart. See, and then the damn rubber feet, this kind of thing that's going to happen with Miles Morales. And the Venom Wave 2 Venompool Venomized Miles Morales. So 2 so far. We will have the Venomized Ghost Spider, so making it 3 in total. Okay, and for our final size comparison, we have Venom, Carnage, and the Venomized Miles Morales right in the middle. And you can see he is tiny in comparison. Okay, so my final thoughts on the figure, having looked up how he actually looked in the Spider-Man cartoon, whatever it's called now, there should be some white paint going on in here in some areas, right? We don't get that, and I'm not sure why. So it's either that the figure is just going a little bit lazy. I'm not really sure what's going on with it. So that's actually very unfortunate. That we don't get that, and that we don't get some of the additional tendril pieces that would be kind of wrapped around his arm, his torso, his leg. I guess it was a decent attempt, but now, the more and more that I'm kind of looking at it and seeing the source material for it, I'm being left more and more disappointed. You know, it looks decent enough aesthetically. You get the Build-A-Figure parts for Venompool, so that's cool. It's a Spider-Man figure. Miles Morales is awesome, but it does leave a little bit left to be desired in terms of an overall great figure. So I'm a little disappointed. You guys let me know down in the comments below your thoughts on this figure. Are you going to be picking it up? Are you going to be passing on it? Let me know in the comments below. If you guys liked the video, please hit that thumbs up button. Subscribe if you haven't already done so. And as always, thank you for watching. Here he comes.